The Lebanese army simply cannot take on Hezbollah. It has too many Shiites, for one thing. And they fear a civil war, and that's not a crazy fear because up until several decades ago, they were suffering from a decades-long civil war. I understand this. They need much more support. Lebanon needs global support. Now, the world right now doesn't really seek another opportunity for a Middle East quagmire, and their attention is plenty taken up with Iran. I get that. But at some point in the near future, when the Iran issue is maybe behind us, I think this is a job for NATO, basically. Syria needs to be brought in. It needs to be...
But you want Syria to be a member of NATO? Is that what you're saying?
No, Syria needs to be part of the solution with Hezbollah.
Okay, just making sure.
There's sensitivity there as well, because Lebanon remembers being occupied by Syria until 20 years ago. But Syria right now is desperate to be a team player and part of Team West, basically. There needs to be the world's biggest news conference with everyone, including the Europeans that are so often confused, including the Arab countries, and everyone needs to say Hezbollah's day is up, and we will put boots on the ground if needed to help the Lebanese get rid of Hezbollah. There's really probably no other way.
French soldiers on the ground in Lebanon fighting Hezbollah?
I would welcome it, and you know what? The French probably would welcome it too, because they have some nostalgia for when they were a colonial world power.
Look, France was supposed to host a fundraiser for the Lebanese army at the beginning of March, and, you know, plans in the region were otherwise, but do you really see, very briefly, Lebanon being left to its own demise?
Lebanon cannot be allowed to become a failed state. It is nonstop war. Hezbollah will continue to embroil Lebanon on purpose in conflict with Israel. For that matter, possibly with Syria. Remember that Hezbollah is at loggerheads with a new Syrian government. This can't continue. So we have a failed state that could be a great state, but it's going to need international assistance, and I really do think it can be consensual, because I cannot think of one idiot in the world that isn't in China or Russia or North Korea that wants Hezbollah to continue to destroy the sovereignty of the state of Lebanon.
Mm-hmm. How are you seeing, obviously the expectation that the threat will go from 100 to 0, that is proven in this region an unattainable objective. But do you see this progress significant to preventing what Josiah fears of losing the North?
Yeah, Israel can't allow a return to the status quo antebellum, where Hezbollah not only had 75,000 rockets, or however many roughly in that area, we believe, but was also basically lined up on the border within hundreds of meters of Israeli communities. And that's craziness, because there was always the constant fear that an invasion was coming into the Galilee from the north from Hezbollah. From Lebanon, it doesn't actually wish to attack Israel, not from Gaza. That cannot resume at all. And whereas I'm not one of these people who thinks that October 7th was an opportunity to do great things. You have some noises in that direction in Israel. It was a horrible catastrophe and an embarrassing disaster. But the aftermath of that event, while in many cases problematic, in particular in Gaza, absolutely has improved Israel's strategic position, and mainly it's established a mindset that any government in Israel, I believe, is going to continue, which is that we can no longer live with these threats on Israel's borders, assuming that the people will be deterred, that the terrorists will be deterred. They won't, and that is why I said before, Lebanon cannot continue to host Hezbollah. They don't want to, and I don't think they should be allowed to, basically. Mm-hmm.